Back at Fort Morgan High School with Bob Richardson. This is Brian Nickel. We're a couple, 3 minutes away yet from the tip-off of this game. There's still 2 minutes left on the clock, and they may do another national anthem plus introduction of players. So it may be another 4 or 5 minutes before this game gets started. But the Fort Morgan and Fort Lupton already played once this year on the 17th of January. Fort Lupton beat Fort Morgan 72-57. That's the highest amount of points that Fort Lupton has put on the board this year. And that seems kind of strange that would happen, because the Fort Morgan Mustang, the boys anyway, they've kind of been built on defense this year. They might have come up short, but they have held the opposing team to usually well under their average. But in that game, Fort Lupton put up 72 points. Fort Lupton is only averaging 52 points, so they were way over their head in that game.
The Fort Morgan Mustangs are averaging 20.6 points on defensive rebounding, points, and then it compared to 13.6 on the defensive rebounding for the Blue Devils. They're pretty consistent on their points per game average, with the Mustangs at 52.9 compared to the Blue Devils 52.8. So they're pretty even as far as their averages per game. So this ought to be a pretty good, interesting game.
Yeah, it should be. In that first game, the Mustangs got behind early. At halftime, they were already down 14, 38-24. Fort Lupton only outscored them by one more in the second half. So Fort Morgan needs to come out and just play ball, keep it close. They just didn't have it that night for some reason, and Fort Lupton they were at home and they were running and gunning, and they couldn't miss that night. So
the Mustangs just need to calm down, control the tempo of the game, play their game, and don't let Fort Lupton Blue Devils get into their game, and just create the turnovers and create the disruptions in their playing and running their offense.
And their leading scorer for Fort Lupton, his name is Jalen Vasquez. He's a 6'2" senior, averaging 13.1 points a game. And followed by number 24, Owen Mellon, who averages 8.1. Vasquez is the only one that averages in double figures for Fort Lupton.
To this evening's Fort Morgan boys Mustang basketball game. And now this evening for the Fort Lupton Blue Devils.
For the Fort Morgan Mustang, for the Mustangs, their leading
number 11
scorer this year is
that'd be Eric Kimball with 14.1, followed by Tony Swetchuk with 11.2 points per game. Those are the only two that are in double digits. The good thing about the Mustangs is they can put up the points. They have a good offense. They have a very good defense. Tonight they just got to get the combo of them both together at the same time.
Yeah, they need to put it together. The Fort Morgan starting lineup is brought to you by Blower and Lumber. At blowerandlumber.com, browse the virtual showroom, view the current sales, complete a credit application, and shop the entire inventory online. Whether you're a contractor or painting your living room, at Blower and Lumber, you'll get the same friendly service and advice to make your job easier. Visit Blower and Lumber in Fort Morgan at 130 State Street. So for the Fort Morgan Mustangs, the starting lineup tonight will be senior Tony Swetchuk, freshman Tate Kimball, 6-foot guard, Joey Schneider, a 6'4" junior, Wes Anderson, a 6'4" senior, and Eric Kimball is a 6'2" junior. So the Fort Morgan boy Mustangs here getting ready to take on the Blue Devils here. The opening tip is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. With 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan, Ingmeyer Phillips can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. Head coach for the Fort Morgan Mustangs, Chad Unrein. Assistant coaches Harrison Chisholm, Jeff Moore, and C.W. Scott. Tip controlled by the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. They're trying to look to get underneath. And Mellon is a 6'4" junior. First shot is up and no good, but rebounded. Finally, we'll see if they're going to have a foul called on Fort Morgan. Is that going to go against Joey? Joey Schneider right off the bat here gets a personal foul. Couldn't quite control that ball over there and ended up fouling on the reach. Fort Lupton almost has it taken away. They get it into Tierna. I believe that was Tierna that made that shot. So now Fort Lupton pressing here. They get it into Wes Anderson. Now to Tony Swetzik. Tony Swetzik kicks it out to Kimball. Pete Kimball. Now off to Eric Kimball. Eric Kimball at the three-point line. Now Tony Swetzik left side. Wes Anderson left elbow drives it down the lane. He's going to be called for the travel. So turnover by the Fort Morgan Mustangs, down early 2-0 with 7:08 to go here in period one. Now Vasquez drives to the bucket, up and good from the left side. So now Kimball, Eric Kimball, brings the ball up past half court, being guarded by Vasquez underneath, but his pass is going to be taken away by Vargas. Vargas gets it back to McCutcheon. McCutcheon gets it off to Tierna. Now it's going to be underneath the Mellon. Mellon's shot is going to be up and good, and they're going to call a foul on the shot. I think they're going to give that to Wes Anderson. His first, so Mellon with the bucket and going to the line to shoot one. Not the way Coach Unride wanted this game to get started. And that free throw is good. So the Mustangs find themselves down early, 7-0. They try to get it across half court, and they're going to call the foul on the push, and that is going to go against McCutcheon. So 2 team fouls on Fort Morgan, 1 on Fort Lupton. As Joey Schneider to inbound in front of the scorer's table gets it into Tate Kimball. Tate Kimball off to Eric Kimball. Eric Kimball to the left elbow, a little jumper up and good for Eric Kimball. Nice shot there by Kimball. Now Vasquez, three-point line, passes it off to McCutcheon. McCutcheon back to Vasquez. They look to get it underneath, and they do get it underneath to Mellon. So they're using his size early. Joey Schneider tried to front him. Layup by Tate Kimball is up and good. Fort Morgan getting on the board here. Almost taken away by Wes Anderson. 3 is up and no good by Vasquez. He ends up stepping on the inline as he tries to save it back in bounds. So 9-4 in favor of the Blue Devils. 5:37 and counting here, first period. As Tate Kimball gets it off to Eric. Now to Joey Schneider, right baseline. Now Wes Anderson with a give and go. Now kicks it out to Tony Swetzik. Eric Kimball for a 3, and that is off the rim and no good. Taken away by Fort Lupton as they look to get the ball down court quickly. Now McCutcheon being guarded by Swetzik gets it off underneath the Tierna and tried to lob it in that time and off the hands of Mellon. So Vargas comes out for Fort Lupton, and Patrick Vasquez comes into the game for the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. Eric Kimball off to Tony Swetzik, left side. Drives down the left baseline. His shot is going to be up and no good. Tip. Oh, they're going to call the offensive foul on Fort Morgan. They're going to call that on Wes Anderson. That's 2 quick ones on Anderson. Wes Anderson not happy with that call whatsoever, and I don't blame him. So now Henry Weimer into the game for the Mustangs. As McCutcheon brings the ball up court. Still 9-4. Now they get it off to Vasquez, left wing. Cross court to Vasquez. Now Vasquez shot is up and no good. So we have a Jalen Vasquez and a Patrick Vasquez. Now Mellon with a jumper, and that is up and good by Mellon. 7 points so far for Mellon. Eric Kimball with the ball down court. Into the lane now, Henry Weimer. Henry Weimer shot it up and no good. Gets his own rebound, but ends up losing it off of his foot and out of bounds. So 11-4 in favor of Fort Lupton. And we have a substitution here. Beckert comes in for the Blue Devils. 4:15 and counting, first period, 11-4. Fort Lupton. McCutcheon being guarded by Slutzig. Now over to Vasquez. Now into the corner to Tierna. Tierna back to Vasquez. Now Vasquez over to Tierna. Tierna gets it out to Jalen Vasquez. He gets it off to Tierna. Tierna backs it out, gets it back out to Jalen Vasquez. Vasquez, they're looking to set up their offense here. Tierna with the ball. Now they try to look inside. Not there. Nice job by Eric Kimball. McCutcheon now out high. Record being guarded by Henry Weimer. Picks up his dribble. Now he gets it off to Tierna. Tierna gets it off to McCutcheon in the corner. Now to Jalen Vasquez, but they're going to call him for the travel. So nice defensive stand there by the Fort Morgan Mustangs.
Well, the one ref closest to us on near court, he wasn't counting the 5 seconds when we were out on him. And then the coach Unrein went over and asked him if he was going to count. He started counting. I think he lost count.
Got to remind him there. Pass into the corner by Eric Kimball. T.Joy Snyder is taken away. So McCutcheon with it. McCutcheon now to Jalen Vasquez for a three, and he lined it up and off the rim and no good. Rebounded by Weimer. Now to Tate Kimball. Tate Kimball's going to slow it up here. 2:50 to go first period, 11-4. For Fort Lupton. Now to Joy Schneider on the right corner. Back out to Tate Kimball. Now to Tony Swetsik. Swetsik for a deep three off the rim and no good. Rebounded by Record of Fort Lupton. So McCutcheon gets the ball not quite past half court yet. Now he does, gets it over to Record. Record gets it to McCutcheon. His three is up and off the rim and no good, but Vasquez with the rebound and a putback. So a 30-second timeout will be called here by Coach Unrein. This Fort Morgan timeout is brought to you by Early Toyota East. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Early Toyota East at 1209 Main Street in Fort Morgan will professionally fit you into a car or truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, Early Toyota East. So I don't think he was very happy after that last shot there. Everybody was looking at each other to go get that rebound, and ends up in the hands of Jalen Vasquez, and he ends up putting it back in for a bucket. So I don't think Coach Unrein is real happy with their hustle right now. So Fort Morgan to inbounds after the basket. Find themselves down by 9, 13-4. Tate Kimball with the ball. He is guarded by Tierna. Tierna now to Joy Schneider, and then they end up throwing it away. He throws it behind Schneider. .206 to go here. First period. As Patrick Vasquez gets it off to Tierna. Tierna now to Arenalo. And that three is up and good. So now Fort Morgan down 12, 16-4. Tate Kimball to T.J. Bauer. Bauer to Henry Weimer. Henry Weimer takes it into the lane. Little right-handed hook is up and good by Weimer. So he may need to do more of that, try to get it inside to Weimer while Mellon is out of there. Arenalo gets it over to Reckert. Now they get it back over to Vasquez, Patrick Vasquez. He backs it out, gets it to Vargas. Vargas now to Patrick Vasquez. Gets it back to Tierna. Tierna into the lane, kicks it out to Reckert. They're just passing the ball around here with 1:04 to go first period as Vargas gets it out to Tierna. Tierna gets it over to Vargas. Vargas back to Reckert. Reckert at the three-point line. He tries to get it underneath, taken away by Joey Snyder. Snyder now to Tate Kimball. Kimball to Tony Swetzik to T.J. Bauer left side for a three, up and off the rim and no good. Rebounded by Fort Lupton with 40 seconds to go here in the first period. Fort Morgan down 16-6. Tolawalio getting ready to come into the game for the Mustangs. Now as Arellano gets it out to Reckert. Reckert gets it, it's going to be up, temporarily knocked away, but taken by Vargas, and Vargas' shot is going to be up and good for a two. 12 seconds to go. Fort Morgan down 12, 18-6. Tate Kimball now with 5 seconds, 6 seconds. T.J. Bauer into the lane. His shot is up and no good. Henry Weimer with the rebound, but kicks it out to Bauer. So at the end of the first period, the Fort Morgan Mustangs find themselves down 18-6 on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs find themselves down 18-6 to start the second period. They've got a hill to climb here early on. This is kind of what happened to them over at Fort Lupton. So Harry Kimball drives it down the right side. His shot is going to be blocked by Mellon. They take it inside. It's going to be blocked out of bounds. So Fort Morgan to retain possession. Tolawalio into the game now for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. They get it into Wallio next to the basket. His little jumper is going to be off the back of the rim and no good. Rebounded finally by Weimer. Weimer puts it up and in for two. So 4 points on the night for Henry Weimer. Now as Fort Lupton gets it down court to Arenalo. Rebounded by Henry Weimer. Gets it off to Swessing, and he gets it off to Eric Kimball. Now Tate Kimball from the corner. His shot is up and no good. Rebounded by Mellon, but he is going to be called for the travel. So Fort Morgan to take advantage of these turnovers by Fort Lupton. Get some points back up here on the board. As Tony Swessick, the inbounds left baseline. He needs to get it in. They're going to have a 5 second. They get it in to Tate Kimball. Mellon with a block, but they're going to call him for the foul as he takes Tate Kimball down. So Tate Kimball will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws as Mellon gets his first. Equitable Savings and Loan, Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan with locations in Fort Morgan and Brush. They have the financial solutions for you. First free throw is good by Tate. Swetzik comes out, Bauer comes in. AC Ice proudly supports local high school sports throughout Northeast Colorado. When you need ice, don't settle for just any old frozen water. Get AC Ice. You can't find it at any local grocery. You can find it at any local grocery or convenience store near you. Second shot also good by Kimball. And now Fort Lupton throws the ball away as Vasquez looks to Arenalo and throws it way behind him. So Fort Morgan down 8, 18-10 with 6:56 to go here in the second period. So Tate Kimball gets it off to Wallio. Wallio kicks it back out to Eric Kimball. Kimball now to Tate Kimball being guarded by McCutcheon. Now Eric Kimball, his pass is going to be taken away by McCutcheon. They do foul him. See who they give it to. So the basket is not there, but he was fouled on the shot. See if they give that to Eric Kimball. Actually, they gave that to Wallio, so that will be his first. But that will send McCutcheon to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Colorado Plains Medical Center, accidents or illness can strike at any time, day or night. When they do, every second counts. As a level 3 trauma center, Colorado Plains Medical Center is ready to handle any type of emergency. Colorado Plains Medical Center, where expertise matters. So the first shot by McCutcheon was good. Now a 9-point lead for the Blue Devils. Next shot is also good by McCutcheon. McCutcheon on the year is shooting 68%. Now they're going to call a travel on Eric Kimball. So Fort Morgan with another turnover here, down 10, 20-10, 6:19 to go, second period. As they get it off to McCutcheon. McCutcheon now gets across court to Tierna. Tierna for a 3, and that is up and good by Tierna. So 13-point lead, 23-10. Tate Kimball, nice running layup from the right side for Tate Kimball. 6 points on the night for Kimball. Mustangs down 11. Bauer guarding, should be a 5-second call, but nothing called after they pass the ball off to Vasquez. Vasquez's layup is going to be up and no good. Going to be finally rebounded by Mellon. Mellon to Tierna. Now over to Vargas. Vargas on the right side. Now to Vasquez from the corner. And his 3 is up and good. So right now, Fort Lupton hitting their 3s, 26-12. Bauer drives it down the lane. He gives it off to Henry Weimer. 2-pointer for Weimer from the left side. Now Vasquez, left high wing, gets it over to Vargas. Vargas's 3 is up and good. Taking their turns here from the 3-point line. Tate Kimball gets the ball. He drives it down the lane. He kicks it out to Eric Kimball in the corner. His shot is going to be over the rim and into the hands of Mellon. So Mellon gets it up to McCutcheon. McCutcheon for a 3, and it is off the rim and no good. Rebounded by Eric Kimball. Kimball goes down. Fort Morgan retains possession. Eric gets it back from Schneider. Now to Tate Kimball. Kimball over to Bauer. Bauer gets it out to Tate Kimball with 4:16 left. Tate Kimball to Henry Weimer. Henry Weimer up and good from the right side. 8 points on the night for Henry Weimer, coming up big when they need him. Still down 13 though, 29-16 with 4 minutes to go, second period. Vasquez from the left side gets it into Mellon. Mellon kicks it back out to Vargas. Vargas back to Vasquez. Vasquez into Mellon. I think the foul is going to be on Joey Snyder on the reach. Henry Weimer had a clean block, but I think the foul is going to go against Joey Snyder. It is 4 team fouls. Should be 5 team fouls on Fort Morgan. Now Mellon. Are they saying it wasn't on the shot?
I don't think the ref knew who they called it on.
30. Yeah. It was on the reach. It wasn't on the block. So Mellon will go to the line to shoot 2. Yeah. Coach Enright, I don't think saw the reach in. He was thinking that it was on. He was saying it was a clean block, which it was by Weimer. Mellon's first free throw was good, but Joey reached in.
I guess Weimer asked him if he got him because Weimer knew he had a clean block, and Joey shook his head. Yeah, he got him.
So Weimer comes out for the Mustangs. Tony Swetzik back in. Fort Morgan down 31-16. So nice job by Henry Weimer while he was in there. Tate Kimball now gets the ball across half court. 3:42 to go, second period. Gets it off to Swetzik. Swetzik being guarded by Tierna. Now they're going to end up throwing the ball away again. So some sloppy basketball being played here by the Fort Morgan Mustangs. TJ Bauer now out guarding on Vasquez. Vasquez goes down. He kicks it out into the corner to Tierna. Tierna drives it out, gets it out to Vasquez. Vasquez's shot is going to be up and no good. Finally knocked around and taken by the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. Now Eric Kimball with the layup, the steal and the layup, and that is good for Eric Kimball. So 4 points on the night for Eric Kimball. 3 minutes to go here, second period. Fort Morgan down 31-18. Now as Vasquez goes in for a left-handed layup, up and good, 33-18. Now Tony Swetzik drives it down the left side. They're going to call the offensive foul on Tony Swetzik. So they're going to call an offensive charge on Tony. That is only one on Swetzik. But Tola Walio comes in, Areo Canas comes in. We'll see who goes out for the Mustangs. Joey Snyder takes a seat. So Walio, Bauer, Eric Kimball, Tate Kimball, and Areo Canas in the game for the Mustangs. Shot from the right side is up and good by Vasquez. Patrick Vasquez. 35-18, 2:27 to go. Eric Kimball, little jumper from the right side over the rim and no good. Rebounded by Vasquez. He goes over on the right side, tries to drive the baseline, kicks it out to Vasquez from the three-point line, right corner is no good. Rebounded by Tate Kimball. 2 minutes to go, second period. Tate Kimball is going to be a foul, and that's going to go against Tierna. His first on the reach. 16 fouls on Fort Morgan, 3 on Fort Lupton. Now as McCutcheon comes in and Jalen Vasquez will take a seat. Wes Anderson comes back into the game and Eric Kimball will come out. So Wes Anderson with 2 fouls, Joey Snyder with 2 fouls, Walio and Swetzik each with 1 apiece. Bauer needs to get the ball in. Ball is tipped but finally taken by Walio. Gets it up into the front court to Wes Anderson. Pressure defense here by the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. And as Anderson tries to get it underneath O'Connor, his pass is intercepted. And now the pass by Vasquez is going to be ahead of Tierna and out of bounds. So now Brian Almanza comes in to the game and Henry Weimer comes back in. Tate Kimball and Areo Canas come out. Minute 42 to go, second period. Pass underneath the Weimer is knocked out of bounds by Record. 35-18 in favor of the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. Get it underneath to Henry Weimer. Weimer's shot is no good. He gets his own rebound. Shot is up. Oh, it won't fall. But he is fouled on the shot. So Weimer to go to the line to shoot 2. And that goes against Vargas, his first. So Henry Weimer to go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. And Weimer is 86% from the free throw line and makes the first. So Henry having a nice game here for the Mustangs. 35-19 with 1:38 to go. Next shot is off the front of the rim and no good. Finally taken by Walio. Walio's little jumper from the left side is no good. Knocked out and taken by Vargas of Fort Lupton. 1:25 to go, second period. McCutcheon now gets it off to, I have a number here and no name. They get it off now to Tierna. McCutcheon now for a deep three, and that is up and good for McCutcheon. That would be Clint Allen that was in the game for the Blue Devils. Now Wes Anderson drives it down the lane. He kicks it underneath to Weimer, but they're going to call a foul on number 5 on a push, and that will be Clint Allen for his first personal. 16 fouls on Fort Morgan, 5 on Fort Lupton. Now Eric Kimball comes in, TJ Bauer comes out for the Mustangs with 51.6 seconds. Eric Kimball looks to get the ball in, gets it into Wallio down the lane, up and good by Wallio. Nice inbounds play there by the Mustangs. 38-21 in favor of the Fort Lupton Blue Devils with 35 seconds to go first half. Kicks it back out to Tierna. Tierna works around a screen by Record, but they're going to call a offensive foul on.
Actually, they called a double dribble.
Okay.
Kind of picked it up and then went back down with it.
So Brian Almanza now with the ball. Gets it to Eric Kimball, 24 seconds to go. First half, he drives it down, but he's picked. Well, that should have been a travel. You can't put the ball down to break your fall. Brian Almanza now with the ball with 12 seconds to go. Gets it off to Eric Kimball. Eric Kimball, that's a foul on Vasquez, his first, but only 16 fouls, so they won't be shooting yet. So smart play by Vasquez to keep Kimball from getting to the basket. So now Mellon back in for the Blue Devils, and Record comes out. Wes Anderson looks to get the ball in. And it's going to be taken away by Fort Lupton. Long three is up and off the back of the rim and no good. Rebounded by Fort Morgan. So at the end of the first half, the Mustangs find themselves down 38-21 on B106 and B106.com. Back with Bob Richardson. This is Brian Nickel at Fort Morgan High School, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs find themselves down 38-21 here at halftime, as Fort Lupton will get control of the ball to start the second half. McCutcheon drives it down the left side, kicks it out to Vasquez. Vasquez now to Tierna. Tierna over to Vargas. Vargas taken away by Wes Anderson. Now to Joey Schneider. Joey Schneider is going to be called for the travel, as he ends up pinning it on his leg as he's dribbling down the right side. So now Fort Morgan will put on the full court press. Eric Kimball to inbounds, to guard the inbounds, and they do get it into Mellon. Back to McCutcheon. McCutcheon now gets it into Tierna, right high wing, drives it down the lane. It's tipped away from him and taken by Eric Kimball. They need to come back and help him, though. Does get help from Joey Schneider as he gets it back to Kimball. Now to Tate Kimball. Tate Kimball out by the half-court line. Now to Eric Kimball, left wing. Tate Kimball over to Joey Schneider, left corner. Give and go now to Tony Swetzik. Swetzik back to Eric Kimball. Kimball's little runner is off the front of the rim and no good. Tipped up by Anderson, no good. Rebounded by Schneider to Swetzik for a three, and that is good for Tony. His first points of the night. And now Fort Lupton coach is going to call a 30-second timeout here. Apparently wasn't happy with the defense that they had there, leaving Swetzik wide open. They know that Tony's going to be our three-point shooter. They wanted to make sure that they're going to be able to switch and get out on him. But Mustangs find themselves on 38-24.
3-point was a good assist by Schneider, tipping it out to Swetzik for the 3.
So now McCutcheon down the left side being guarded by Tate Kimball. McCutcheon gets it back from Vasquez. Now McCutcheon 3-point line. He gets off to Vasquez in the corner for a 3, and that's off the side of the rim and no good. Knocked out of bounds by Fort Morgan on the far side. So now McCutcheon to inbounds. Far side, he gets it into Mellon. Mellon ends up losing it to Tate Kimball. Kimball now on the right side. There's going to be a foul out high. Ball. And that will go against Tierna. That is only 2 on Tierna. Nobody in foul trouble on either team. Only 6 fouls called in the first half on either team. So now Tate Kimball to get the ball in, looks to get it into Eric. Eric now gets a screen by, and he ends it off to Anderson for the layup from the right side. So nice job there by Anderson, his first 2 points of the night. Now going to take it all the way in is Vargas, and his shot is up and good from the right side. Now to Tate Kimball. Tate Kimball drives it down the lane. This shot is going to be up and short and lost out of bounds off of Wes Anderson. So now Fort Lupton to inbounds. They get it into McCutcheon. Fort Morgan still with a full court press, down 40-26. Now Tierna gets it across half court, being double teamed. Now they're going to have a foul called out front, and that's going to go against Eric Kimball. That is his first. So McCutcheon to inbounds, far side, 5:40 to go, third period. They called a foul on Mellon.
At a moving screen.
So 2 on Mellon, 2 on Tierna. Fort Morgan's Schneider and Anderson each with 2. Turnover in the front court by the Mustangs to Fort Lupton. Now Mellon in the corner. He kicks it out to Vargas. Vargas now to Tierna in the corner. Tierna will light it up for a 3, and that is up and good for Tierna. His second 3 of the night. Fort Morgan down 43-26. Eric Kimball now to Tate Kimball to Joey Schneider in the left corner. Swing it around to the other side to Eric Kimball. Eric Kimball down the lane, and his, see if they're going to call it a shot or not, if there's going to be a pass, but they did call a foul. Yes, Eric Kimball will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, on Mullen, that'll be 3 on Mullen.
So Mullen with 3, Eric Kimball to go to the line to shoot 2. (43-26) with 5 minutes to go here. Third period, first shot is up and good by Kimball. Now the refs are going to have a little discussion. Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies and G Sweets Bakery offering cookies, muffins, and sweet breads made fresh daily. Pair with your favorite coffee, lattes, or smoothies flavors, and you're set. Open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday 7 until 4. Stop by and see them at 921 Edison Street in Brush. Second free throw is no good. Vasquez now drives to the free throw line. This shot is going to be up and good by Vasquez. 9 points on the night for Jalen Vasquez. 18-point lead here by the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. Tony Swessing now to Tate Kimball. Tate Kimball into Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson with a little bunny from the right side is up and good. 4 points on the night for Anderson. Full court press still by the Fort Morgan Mustangs as Vargas tries to get it up. He ends up losing it out of bounds. Nice pressure there by Eric Kimball. And now Patrick Vasquez comes in for Justice Vargas. Fort Morgan inbounds far side, getting into Kimball. Tate now over to Eric Kimball out left wing. He dribbles it up straight high. Now over to Joey Schneider. He tries to drive the baseline. Nice save by Tate Kimball on the sideline. Eric Kimball going to end up throwing the ball out, but recovered by Tate Kimball. Tate Kimball down the lane. His shot is going to be up and good on the layup from the right side by Tate Kimball. So Tierna with it now in front court for Fort Lupton, and he ends up throwing it away in front of Alec Record. So now TJ Bauer comes in for Tony Swetzik. And Henry Weimer is going to come in for Joey Snyder. 3:43 to go, 45-31, Fort Lupton. Third period. Tate Kimball, Eric Kimball, left wing. Now he dribbles, picks up his dribble, gives to Tate Kimball into Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson, a little layup is up and no good. But Henry Weimer gets the rebound, and he is going to be fouled on the shot. And I believe that was on Patrick Vasquez, I believe, and that's who it's on. So Henry Weimer to go to the line to shoot two. He is one of two so far from the night with 9 points, and that shot is up and good by Henry. Central Auto Parts, you want your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them. Purchase the best quality parts and accessories at great prices at your local Napa store. Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. Next shot is no good, rebounded by Eric Kimball. Eric Kimball, layup from the left side is good. So now Fort Morgan still with a full court defense and ends up knocking it out of bounds off of Wes Anderson. So Fort Lupton to inbounds mid-court to get it into McCutcheon. McCutcheon now over to Arenalo. Now back to Vasquez. He kicks it back out to Tierna. Tate Kimball in his face, but Tierna drives it. Nice rebound. Henry Weimer throws it out, but Wes Anderson doesn't see the shot or to the pass. Now the three-pointer by Arenalo is no good. And goes over the backboard and out of bounds. So Fort Morgan inbounds far into the court. Tony Swetzik comes in for Tate Kimball. So they have Swetzik, Anderson, Eric Kimball, TJ Bauer, and Henry Weimer into the game for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. 2:50 to go in the third period. Tony Swetzik was going to line up for a three. His pass now is going to be taken away, and they're going to call a foul on Eric Kimball after the steal. It'll be 2 on Kimball. 2 team fouls on Fort Morgan, 4 on Fort Lupton.
Mustangs getting a little careless with their passing.
So now McCutcheon with the ball back court, gets it across half court with 2:36 to go. Picks up his dribble, now TJ Bauer on Tierna. Now to McCutcheon, back over to Arenalo from the corner, and that three is up and no good. Rebounded by Henry Weimer. Weimer gets it out to Kimball, Eric Kimball. Now to Tony Swetzik. Swetzik drives it, stops just short of the lane, and then pass is going to be taken away, and Tierna. Oh, nice. Oh, looked like a good block by Eric Kimball, and they're going to call a foul on the shot. Looked like a good block from where we were. The ref said he hit him on the arm. He didn't even come close to his hand. It was all ball. So Tierna to the line to shoot 2. Tierna's first one is up and good. So Wes Anderson and Eric Kimball come out. Tate Kimball and Joy Schneider come in for the Mustangs. Tierna on the year is 62% from the free throw line. Shot is up and no good. Rebounded by Joy Schneider. Schneider gets it to Tate. Tate. Pass over to Tony Swetzik, goes through his hands and out of bounds. And Coach Unrein is going to call for a 30-second timeout here. This Fort Morgan timeout is brought to you by Ehrlich Toyota East. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East at 1209 Main Street in Fort Morgan will professionally fit you into the car or truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, Ehrlich Toyota East.
Well, the Mustangs, they get a run going and they start shooting themselves in the foot. Just careless turnovers, passes that are just going wherever. They got to be sure whether they're going to throw it or whether they're going to throw it. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, they need to take advantage of the turnovers when Fort Lupton creates them, and they're not doing that. They're only down 12, though. I mean, it's 46-34. They've cut into this a little bit. Fort Lupton is rattled a little bit. They're still trying to live off their threes, and they're not making them right now. But I don't know why you don't work it inside when you have a 6'4" kid as in Mellon like they were doing earlier. Now McCutcheon with the ball up court. Gets it across to Tierna for a three, and that is up and off the support and no good. So Fort Morgan with the ball. 1:52 to go. They can cut this to 10 with a basket. Or to 9 with a three. So minute 45. Swetsik back to Tate. Fort Lupton extending their defense out into Weimer. Weimer's jumper's up and good. From the right side, 12 points on the night for Weimer. 10-point game here. As Arenalo now gets it over to McCutcheon in the front court with a minute 24 to go, third period. So now Vasquez, gets it back to McCutcheon. Now they're going to slow it down and make Fort Morgan come out and play some defense, which they are. Now Reckert into McCutcheon. His shot is up and no good. Rebounded by Joy Schneider. Schneider now gets it off to Tate Kimball. Tate Kimball passes intercepted in the lane by Vasquez. Another empty possession there for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Now Tierna up court. High right wing back to McCutcheon. McCutcheon now over to Reckert. Reckert against Weimer. Reckert going to go up, and his shot is no good. Taken by Tate Kimball. Kimball over to Tony Swetsik. Swetsik for a three. His shot is no good. Henry Weimer, though, with a nice strong rebound. His shot is up and no good, but they're going to call a foul on the rebound. The ref said the push, but he didn't give a number. Or if he did, I didn't see it.
He gave it Vargas to Patrick Vargas. It's 2 on Patrick.
Okay. So Fort Morgan inbounds right of their basket baseline. 20.9 seconds to go. 10-point game. Now lob into Eric Kimball. Missed the little jumper there. Rebounded by Fort Lupton with 15 seconds to go. McCutcheon with the ball. Looks to get it across half court and does. McCutcheon down the left side, and he is going to be fouled out front. They're going to give that to Tony Swetsik, his second. So Walio comes into the game probably for Tony with 7.7 seconds to go, third period. Still a 10-point game. Nice hustle by Wes Anderson to knock the inbounds pass out. 7.1 seconds to go, third period, as Fort Lupton will inbounds far side in front of the student section of the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Nice crowd here by the Mustangs tonight. Steal by the Mustangs. Walio with 3. Walio with 2. Walio with Eric Kimball from the side with 1, and that is up and no good. So at the end of 3, Fort Lupton 46, Fort Morgan 36 on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, the start of the fourth period with Bob Richardson. This is Brian Nickel. Fort Lupton up 46-36. So Fort Morgan outscored Fort Lupton 15-8 in that period. So a nice job by the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Now they're going to have to outscore them at least by 10 to at least tie this thing by the end of the game. Now Eric Kimball will line up a three, and he pulls it down, goes in for the layup, up and no good. Henry Weimer, though, with another rebound, blocked by Mellon, and rebounded by Anderson, but there's going to be a foul called on his shot. So Mellon, we'll see if that's Mellon with the shot, or with the foul. That will be Mellon. That will be 4 on Mellon. So Wes Anderson to the line to shoot 2. I like to see the aggressiveness underneath there by Weimer and Anderson getting after the rebounds. Anderson's first shot is up and good. So it's cut to a 9-point lead now by...
I like to see the aggressiveness on the whole Mustang this whole second half. Their defense has just been real aggressive and just going after them.
So we'll see what they do when they come out of this hopefully made basket here by Wes Anderson. In also... So Fort Morgan still with the full court defense as Justin Vargas gets it up to Arenalo. Gets it back to Vargas. Vargas is being guarded out front by Kimball. Now gets to Arenalo being guarded by Wallio out high. Now pass is going to be intercepted at the baseline by Eric Kimball, and then his pass over to Tate Kimball is going to be intercepted and put in by Justin Vargas. Or Jalen Vasquez, excuse me. So that was a big turnover there that really hurt. Eric Kimball, his shot up and no good, but rebounded by Henry Weimer. His putback there is going to be a foul on Fort Lupton. I believe that's going on number 15 record. So Henry Weimer back to the line to shoot 2. Henry is 2 for 4 so far tonight. He always hits his first one, then comes up short on the second one. This one is in and out for Henry. This is where they're going to have to make some hay here while the clock is stopped. They have to make these free throws. And that one was too hard and off the back of the rim and no good. Fort Lupton with the rebound. If they get the ball, it's going to be knocked out of bounds. Nice job there by Wes Anderson. Ball does go off of Anderson and out of bounds. Tony Swetzik in for Wallio.
The Mustangs are flying all over the court. Just every little pass they're trying to go after just to get that fast break going.
48-38, Fort Lupton with 6:52 to go, fourth period, as they get it in to Vasquez. Vasquez now over to the corner. Tierna into record and taken away by the Mustangs, but knocked out of bounds by Patrick Vasquez. The Fort Morgan to inbounds far side. .641 to go, fourth period. Tate gets it into brother Eric. Tate gets it up across half court now to Tony Swetzik with 6:33 to go. Now to Tate Kimball to Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson's pass is tipped, but controlled by the Mustangs. Tate Kimball up for the shot and no good, but rebounded by Henry Weimer. So an 8-point game now by the Fort Lupton, 48-40. Fort Morgan trying to cut back into this lead. That should have been a travel on McCutcheon, was not. Now a 2 is up and no good by Vasquez, rebounded by Fort Morgan, taken by Tate Kimball. Now to Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson to Henry Weimer. Now they're going to call a blocking foul on record of Fort Lupton. That's showing 17 fouls, so they should be going to the line to shoot. They are. Wes Anderson will go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. He was hit his last 2, needs to continue that streak here. So Wes Anderson with 6 points on the night, makes his first free throw. So he will earn another one. So into the game is Jacob Brown for Fort Lupton, and Anderson hits his second, so he is 4 of 4 tonight. Now Vasquez left alone, and his shot is going to be up and good from the left side. Got back behind the defense on that one. Now Tate Kimball to Swetzik, back to Tate to Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson kicks it out to Tony Swetzik for a deep three. That's up and off the back of the rim and no good. The rebounded, tipped out by Henry Weimer. Now ball is controlled and then lost out of bounds, or knocked out of Henry's hands, they say. So Fort Morgan to retain possession. With 5:23 to go, Fort Morgan down 8, 50-42. And they're looking at a stoppage in play here. Now they're going to give it to Tony to get it in. He gets it into Tate Kimball. Tate Kimball now to Eric Kimball. Eric Kimball drives it down, but they're going to call a foul on Jacob Brown. That will be one on Brown, so Eric Kimball will go to the line to shoot 2. So Eric needs to make these 2 here. (50-42). First one is in and out. And no good. Joey Schneider comes in for Henry Weimer. Nice job by Henry Weimer tonight. I'll give him a hand here for the job he's done tonight.
He's been crashing boards. I have him at 13 rebounds.
And just about as many. He has more. Second shot by Kimball, also no good. Rebounded by Swetzik to Tate Kimball. And Kimball puts it in for 2. So Mustangs down 6. Now Jalen Vasquez gets the ball across half court. Being guarded by Tate Kimball. Now they get her cross court to Tierna. He holds it against Joey Snyder. Now Fort Lupton is going to call a timeout. We'll see if it's going to be a full timeout or it's going to be a full timeout. So we'll take one with them. 50-44. Fort Lupton with 4:52 to go on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, Mustangs down 6 with 4:46 to go. McCutcheon with the ball, hands it off to Jalen Vasquez, being guarded by Wes Anderson. Now kicks it off to McCutcheon in the corner. They're going to try and take the air out of this. They're going to run some clock. Tierna now out high against Tate Kimball. Now stops and pops for a 3, and that is up and no good. Rebounded by Tate Kimball. Now he gets it off to Swetzik. Swetzik to Eric Kimball. Eric Kimball to Wes Anderson. Anderson to Joey Schneider. Joey Schneider's old jumper from the left side is up and no good. Rebounded Fort Lupton. Now they get it up to McCutcheon. They're going to have a reach foul on Joey Schneider. That will be 3 on Schneider, only the 15th foul on Fort Morgan. So they won't be shooting any free throws yet. Wallio comes in. And Schneider is going to come out. So 4:04 to go, fourth period. Mustangs down 6. They get it into Tierna. Now they're going to get it to McCutcheon. McCutcheon goes into the lane. Gets it off now to Patrick Vasquez on the left side for a 3, up and no good. Rebounded by Wes Anderson. Anderson now gets it to Kimball. So Tate Kimball gets it off to Wallio. A 3 for Wallio from the left side is up and no good. Rebounded by Jalen Vasquez. Vasquez now to Patrick Vasquez. Now to Tierna, right side. Dribbles it back out, high right wing. Now gets it to McCutcheon. McCutcheon picks up his dribble, gets it off to Patrick Vasquez. Back to McCutcheon. McCutcheon at the left elbow, picks up his dribble, gets it off to Mellon. Now Mellon kicks it out to Jalen Vasquez. Now to Patrick Vasquez. His 2 is up and good by Patrick Vasquez. So back to an 8-point lead for the Fort Lupton Blue Devils, 52-44. Now to Wallio in the corner, drives the left baseline, picks it up, and his pass is going to be stolen and taken away, but into the backcourt. Tierna is going to have a foul called as he knocks Tony Swetzik down. So 3 on Tierna. So now Tony Swetzik to go to the line to shoot 2, as that is 10 team fouls.
That's where the Mustangs got to hit the free throws down the stretch here to, get some points on the board with no clock.
The clock sitting still, and that one is up and good by Tony. 4 points on the night for Swetzik. TJ Bauer comes in for Wallio. So Eric Kimball, Tate Kimball, Tony Swetzik, Wes Anderson, and TJ Bauer in for the Mustangs. Second shot for Swetzik also good. So back to a 6-point lead for Fort Lupton. As they haven't yet to get it across half court, they get it to McCutcheon. McCutcheon being guarded by Tate Kimball, being double teamed and almost taken. It is taken away. Now Tate Kimball in for the layup. His layup is going to be short, but he is fouled. That will go against McCutcheon. So Tate Kimball to the line to shoot 2.
Cut this lead down to 4.
So we can get Tate here to make these. First one is up and good by Tate. Tate Kimball is 68% from the free throw line this year. Standing at the line with the ball, dribbles it a couple of times. Next shot is off the back of the rim and no good. Tipped around and taken by Fort Lupton. So a big miss there by Tate Kimball. Now Jalen Vasquez, his layup is going to be up and no good. Rebounded. They're going to call that on Tate Kimball, I believe. He is against Tate. That's 16 fouls. That's only his first. So Wallio in to the game for Bauer. As Patrick Vasquez inbounds it to Mellon. Mellon kicks it out to McCutcheon. McCutcheon for a 3 off the back of the rim and no good. Rebounded by Tate Kimball. Now, it's Tate over the head of Swetzik and out of bounds. So now we're going to have a full timeout here taken, I believe, by the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. So we'll take one with them. 52-47 Fort Lupton with 2:13 to go on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, 52-47 in favor of the Fort Lupton Blue Devils with 2:13 to go. Fort Lupton will have possession as they get it into McCutcheon, knocked out of bounds. Nice play by Wes Anderson. So now Fort Lupton to inbounds just shy of half court far side. They get it into McCutcheon. McCutcheon being guarded by Tate Kimball. McCutcheon gets it across half court. Picks up his dribble. Now he gets it off to Tierna. Tierna's going to be double teamed in the court. They're going to call a jump ball. In possession to Fort Lupton with 1:58 to go. So Patrick Vasquez to inbounds in front of the scorer's table, near side. Eric Kimball to guard him. Now we're having a discussion at the scorer's table, but I think they've got it figured out. I don't know what the problem was there. 52-47 Fort Lupton. They get it into Tierna. Tierna gets it off to Jalen Vasquez, being guarded by Bauer. Vasquez down in the lane. The layup is going to be no good. Rebounded by Wes Anderson. He passes out to Tony Swetzik with 1:44 to go. Swetzik's going to line up. Yep. He gets it off to Eric Kimball. Eric Kimball now to Swetzik. Eric Kimball drives it down the lane. He kicks it into Anderson. He kicks it out to Tony Swetzik. Now to TJ Bauer on the left wing. Bauer goes down the left side. His layup is up and no good. Rebounded though by Mellon. So 1:21, 52-47, still for Fort Lupton. Now a foul going to be called on Tony Swetzik. That will be 3. There should be 7 team fouls on Fort Morgan, so that will send Vasquez to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. Vasquez on the year shooting for Fort Lupton is shooting at 65%, and that first one is in and out, rebounded by Eric Kimball. So Fort Morgan's still in this, 52-47. They got to make a couple of baskets here. And Tony Swetsick was about ready to go for a 3, and Coach Unrein calls a timeout. And it is going to be a full timeout, so we'll take one with him. 52-47 with 1:11 to go on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, the Fort Morgan Mustangs, the inbounds here with 1:11 to go, down 52-47. Tony Swetsick with the ball. Gets it off to Tate Kimball. Tate Kimball drives it down the right side now to Wes Anderson underneath to Henry Weimer. Weimer's shot is up and good. So nice play there by the Mustangs. 52-49. Ball down, but it's going to be into Jalen Vasquez's hands. They're going to have to foul. They're going to run this thing out. When Vasquez goes down, they're going to call a timeout as Vasquez gets control. 46.4 seconds to go, 52-49. It's going to be a 30-second timeout taken by Fort Lupton. So Fort Morgan trying to dig themselves out of this hole, down only 3. As they have outscored the Fort Lupton Blue Devils, I believe, 13-6 here in this fourth period. So a nice inbounds play, or nice, not necessarily inbounds play, but a nice play to get Weimer open underneath.
This is where you kind of wish there was a shot clock so they couldn't stall the time off and make them, force in there, but we are in high school ball, so.
So Patrick Vasquez, the inbounds in front of their bench, he gets it into McCutcheon. They're going to have to foul to get this ball back, though. Ball's tipped away, but taken back, and now Tierna in the corner. Now back out to Patrick Vasquez. Patrick Vasquez down the lane. They're going to call a foul. They're going to go on Wallio. That will be on Tola. That will be his second. And that will send Patrick Vasquez to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. Henry Weimer with the scorer's table getting ready to check in. First shot is in and out. And over the back by Mellon, but no call, but rebounded and finally taken by Eric Kimball. Gets it up to Tate Kimball with 25 seconds to go. Tate Kimball gets it to Wes Anderson. Coach Unrein calls a timeout with 21.7 seconds to go. 52-49.
Desperate need of a 3 right here.
So it's going to be a full timeout. We're going to take one with them. Mustangs down 3 with 21 seconds to go on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, and Fort Morgan Mustangs get the ball inbounds with 20 seconds. Get into the hands of Tony Swetsick. Swetsick gets it off to Eric Kimball, right side. Kimball's first shot is up, and they're going to call interference, and I think that was right. I think the ball was on the rim when Wes Anderson hit it. With 11 seconds to go, they're going to wipe that basket off of the scoreboard. With 11 seconds to go.
It was close. It was close to being off the front.
They're going to say it was no good with 11 seconds to go. Fort Lupton up 52-49 as they have taken a timeout. But we'll keep it here this time. The student body tonight has been a big help here, I think, tonight for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. I'm glad to see some of the student body coming out and getting back involved again with high school basketball. They were there for a few years that you couldn't get high school kids to come out to a high school basketball game, but they have a nice crowd over there tonight.
It's good that they support their team.
So Fort Morgan will first try to get the steal on the inbounds, and I'm sure if they don't, they will have to foul right away. 52-49 with 11 seconds to go. Eric Kimball, Tate Kimball, Wes Anderson, Tony Swetzik, and Tola Walio into the game, and they get it into Jalen Vasquez. They're going to have to foul. And now they're going to call an intentional foul.
Yeah.
So that won't get them the ball back. 7.4 seconds. They'll go to the line to shoot 2, and Fort Lupton will get the ball back. So the foul will go against Wes Anderson. That will be 3. So that will put Jalen Vasquez to the line to shoot. His first shot is up and good by Vasquez. So a nice comeback here by the Fort Morgan Mustangs. Look, it might come up just a little short. Well, Vasquez's next shot is in and good, and they will get the ball. So down 5 now with 7.4 seconds. Fort Lupton to inbounds far side, not quite the half court. So they get it into Vasquez, and he is fouled by Eric Kimball. That will be 4 on Kimball. They will send Jalen Vasquez back to the line to shoot 2, as that is a 10th team foul on the Fort Morgan Mustangs. So Jalen Vasquez to the line to shoot 2. First shot is up and good by Vasquez. So he's hit 3 straight free throws here for the Blue Devils. And none of the Blue Devils are in the lane. All Mustangs standing at the lane with 6.4 seconds. That shot is up and also good. So they get it into Tate Kimball with 5 seconds. Tate Kimball needs to put it up. Shot is going to be blocked at the end of the game by Mellon. So it comes to an end. A valiant effort by the Fort Morgan Mustangs on the comeback, but they fall short, 56-49 on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs have fallen 56-49 to the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. The Mustang postgame show is brought to you by Buildings by Design. Knowing who you can trust to do a good job is a tough part nowadays. But when you hire Buildings by Design, you can trust you'll get the building you want, when you want it, and at the quality you deserve. Start your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. Well, it ended up being a tough loss for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. They just got down too far. They were down 18 at one point in this game and then had to foul at the end and ended up getting beat by 7. They had it down to 3 but couldn't quite overcome it. Had too deep a hole to come out of. Scoring for the Fort Lupton Blue Devils, McCutcheon with 5, Arenello with 3, Vargas with 7, Tierna with 9, Patrick Vasquez with 6, Mellon with 9, and Jalen Vasquez with 17 for their 56. For the Fort Morgan Mustangs, high score tonight for the Mustangs was Henry Weimer with 16, followed by Wes Anderson with 8, Tate Kimball with 11, then Anderson with 8, Eric Kimball with 7, Swesik with 5, Walio with 2 for their 49, and it was just too much of a hill to climb for the Mustangs tonight.
It was just too much, like you said. They had 17 turnovers, and the Blue Devils had 16, so they're pretty even on the turnovers. When it comes down to the rebounds, the Mustang out-rebounded them 2-1. The Mustangs had 30 rebounds to the Blue Devils 15, and that's where they got a lot of their points back. Just didn't quite get enough of them back. Leading for the rebounds for the Blue Devils was Mullen with 4. Then you had Patrick Vasquez and Jalen Vasquez with 3 apiece, followed up by Reckert with 2. Then you had McCutcheon, and Tijera each with 1. The leading rebounder for the Mustangs was Henry Weimer with 13. Way to crash the boards, Henry. And then you had it followed up by Anderson with 4, Snyder with 4, Tate Kimball with 4, and you had Eric Kimball with 3, and Wally Owen Swetzik with 1. They just dominated the boards, erased that 15 points of that 18-point deficit at one point. And when it came down to the end, they had to foul. And Kimball got that intentional foul because he grabbed the jersey and they didn't get the ball back when they needed it. And it just kind of, it was close at the end. They had the shot, just couldn't quite get it to fall in.
Yeah, they had a lot of points. They were, let's see what they were at the free throw line tonight. They were 14 of 20 for 70% tonight. Fort Lupton was 8 of 11. I believe it was, they were 83%. But, when you get down 18 points, it's just tough to, you put all your energy into catching up, and you just can't get there. Instead of if you're close and you put that much energy into it, you're going to be up 10 or 12 points.
Well, I'll give Coach Unrein and I'll give all of the Mustang players credit and kudos. They came out and they played full court press the whole second half, and were just, a lot better defense, a lot better control in the second half. If they would have, and they stayed with it. They didn't tire out. They kept their momentum going right to the last second on the clock, and they should be proud of that. They know that they could come back from a deficit. They know what it takes. They just came up a little bit short.
Yeah, they'll have their chance here shortly again. They will be playing at Inglewood. The boys will this Thursday, and that is a 7:15 tip at Inglewood. And that's where B106 and B106 will be. We will follow the boys to Inglewood. The girls will be home to Inglewood. And then on the Monday the 17th, we will have Weld Central here at Fort Morgan for the boys and girls games. That would be the girls game at 5:30 and the boys at 7. But Inglewood is first, which is a team that both these teams need to win so they can try to get their positioning in for the state playoffs.
Hopefully this will be a momentum builder because they were down by 18. They came back. They didn't let the points get to them. They didn't get frustrated. They fought back. They clawed their way back out of the hole. Just came up a little bit short, but this is something to build on going into Thursday's game. And hopefully they'll, play as tough. It just, Unrein knows what they're capable of, and the boys know what they're capable of. And they just need to pull out a W.
Yeah, they just, if they work that hard when they're coming back, maybe he'll put a full court press on when they go to play Inglewood. They saw what the pressure did to Fort Lupton on the turnovers and getting the ball back and getting that score down to, where they could have won this thing. But, that's Thursday night. We'll be there with them. So we're going to go ahead and close this broadcast out tonight. The sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball has been Michaela Clipper. For Bob Richardson, I'm Brian Nickel. The final scores tonight, we had a doubleheader. The girls go down 39-35 in a tough loss to the Fort Lupton Lady Blue Devils. The boys fall 56-49 to the Fort Lupton Blue Devils. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Good night, everybody.
Good night.